Green Bay Packers official 2025 schedule has finally been released. And of course, I had to sit down and share my instant reaction with you. This is always one of the most exciting days of the offseason because it gives us a real glimpse into what the path to the playoffs might look like, where the toughest stretches will be, and which games already feel like must-wins. So let's dive right into it, because this calendar has a lot going on, and trust me, there are some spicy matchups ahead. Now, for those who like to stay plugged into everything Packers during these quiet months, don't worry, we'll be covering it all here, from organized team activities to those training sessions right around the corner. The offseason might feel slow, but there's always something brewing when it comes to Green Bay. Back to the schedule reveal, the anticipation was through the roof, especially around whether we'd finally get a home opener to kick off the season. Believe it or not, since 2019, the Packers haven't started a year at home. It's always been road trips to begin the campaign. The last time Lambeau Field hosted Week 1 was way back in 2018, and if you remember that game, you'll recall it was one for the ages. A certain player went down with a knee injury, then came roaring back after halftime to orchestrate an incredible comeback against the Bears. Legendary stuff. So naturally, when this year's schedule dropped, all eyes were on Week 1. And guess what? We finally got it. A home opener, Lambeau Field, Week 1. But not just any opponent. We're facing the reigning NFC North champions, the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I know, it stings to say that. Detroit has been a thorn in our side lately, and starting the season against them is about as challenging as it gets. That game is locked in for 3:25 p.m. Central Time, and you can bet Lambeau is going to be rocking, but the tough starts don't stop there. Just a few days later, in Week 2, the Packers are back at it with another home game. This time, a Thursday night clash against the Washington Commanders. And why is that significant? Because the Commanders knocked out the Lions in the playoffs last year. So here we are opening the season with back-to-back games against two playoff teams who made serious noise last season. Talk about trial by fire. This is exactly the kind of gauntlet that can either expose a team or forge it into something special. You want to know what your squad is made of? Face top-tier competition early on and see who rises to the occasion. And that's exactly the situation the Packers find themselves in. 2 home games against playoff teams right off the bat. Then, Week 3 is off to Cleveland to face the Browns. Now, on paper, that's a more manageable matchup. But with the uncertainty around who will be starting a quarterback for Cleveland, it's still a tricky one. That game is set for a Sunday noon kickoff Central Time, and it might end up being a much-needed confidence booster, depending on how the first 2 weeks go. Let's be real here. There's a legitimate chance the Packers could be sitting at 0-2 heading into that Browns game. But it's just as possible they come out 1-1, or even shock everyone and go 2-0. Either way, Week 3 feels pivotal, a win that could stabilize things before the schedule ramps up again. Week 4 brings a trip to Dallas for a Sunday night showdown against the Cowboys. And look, history tells us this is almost like a home game for Green Bay. The Packers have more playoff wins at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do themselves. It's been a friendly environment for us, and primetime under those lights adds an extra layer of excitement. That game is locked for a 7:20 p.m. Central Time start, and you know the whole league will be watching. So within the first 4 weeks, the Packers will have already played 2 primetime games, one against the Commanders on a Thursday night, and then this one against the Cowboys. That's a pretty intense start to the season, no doubt about it. Now here comes the first big disappointment of the schedule. The bye week lands in Week 5. Yep, that early. Pretty much the earliest bye you can get. And let's be honest, nobody loves an early bye. Ideally, you want that break somewhere in the middle of the season. Maybe weeks 8 to 10, when the wear and tear start piling up and the injuries become a real concern. A Week 5 bye feels like a waste. You're barely warmed up, and boom, you're off. It is what it is, though. The Packers will just have to navigate the long stretch ahead without another break. Coming out of that early bye, things don't get any easier. The Bengals come to Lambeau in Week 6. That's a game I'm personally hyped for. 2 high-powered offenses, quarterback slinging it, hopefully a shootout with points flying all over the scoreboard. Assuming everyone's healthy, this could be one of the most entertaining games of the season. A real statement opportunity for the Packers. After that, the road beckons once again. Week 7, the Packers head to Arizona to face the Cardinals. That one's another 3:25 p.m. Central Time kickoff. And then in week 8, it's back to prime time, this time for a clash with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this one has some extra intrigue. There's been a lot of speculation about a certain big-name player potentially joining the Steelers. If that happens, this game instantly becomes must-watch television. The league knows how to craft these storylines, and it wouldn't be surprising if they're banking on that narrative unfolding. Either way, Steelers-Packers in primetime is a heavyweight matchup, and it's happening at a time when every win starts to feel a little more crucial. Originally, there were rumors this game might be played in Ireland, but that plan changed. Vikings will be heading overseas instead, so the Packers and Steelers will battle it out in Pittsburgh as usual. Depending on how the rosters shape up, this could either be a thrilling contest or, if certain players don't suit up, maybe even a more low-key affair. Regardless, the Packers will need to stay focused. Week 9 sees Green Bay welcoming the Carolina Panthers to Lambeau. And don't sleep on the Panthers. They showed flashes last season, especially late in the year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they exceed expectations in 2025. It always feels like we struggle against them more than we should, even at home. That's a game the Packers must take seriously. Then comes a massive test in Week 10, a Monday night showdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. This one feels like a revenge game, a chance to right some wrongs from past playoff disappointments. Playing at Lambeau under the lights gives the Packers a much-needed edge, but the Eagles remain one of the league's powerhouses. That's going to be a war in the trenches. Moving into Week 11, the Packers head to MetLife Stadium to face the New York Giants. Personally, I might make the trip for this one. It's relatively close, and these games against the Giants are always interesting, even if they don't carry the same weight as division matchups. Scheduled for a noon kickoff on November 16th, it's one of those classic Sunday games that just feels right. Week 12 brings the Minnesota Vikings to Lambeau. Surprisingly, that'll be just the second divisional game of the season. It's a little odd, considering how tough the NFC North is supposed to be. You'd think the league would spread those matchups out more, but once again, we're looking at a heavy divisional slate in the back half of the season. The fact that both early divisional games are at home is a double-edged sword. It's great for building momentum, but it means some brutal road games are coming later on. And that leads us into Week 13, a Thanksgiving Day clash with the Detroit Lions. That game is set for a noon kickoff, a bit earlier than some might have expected. Usually, those Thanksgiving games slide into the afternoon or early evening slots. But this year, the Packers get the early window. Facing the Lions on Thanksgiving has become something of a tradition. And while Green Bay had success in their last Turkey Day meeting, this one feels like a toss-up. Detroit has been ascending, and this could be a pivotal moment in the divisional race. The schedule keeps grinding from there, with the Packers returning home in Week 14 for their first meeting of the season with the Chicago Bears. Another noon Sunday game, classic Lambeau vibes. No matter how the records stand, Packers-Bears always brings the energy. From there, the team hits the road again for a 2-week trip, starting with a visit to Denver to face the Broncos. Expectations for Denver are high this year, especially with quarterback Bo Nix entering his second season. He showed flashes of real talent last year. And if he makes that leap, this could be a dangerous game for Green Bay. Looking ahead to weeks 15 through 18, the schedule is stacked with matchups against teams likely fighting for playoff spots. Lions, Bears, Broncos, Ravens, Vikings. It's a gauntlet. Week 16 will feature an interesting twist with a Saturday game, time still to be determined. Then in Week 17, the Packers welcome the Baltimore Ravens to Lambeau. That one's also a flex game, meaning the exact day and time will be decided later depending on how the playoff picture shapes up. But one thing's for sure, facing Baltimore late in the season is never easy. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Green Bay Packers, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has energized fans and shaken up the NFL offseason, the Green Bay Packers have officially confirmed the arrival of star running back Aaron Jones. The announcement puts an end to weeks of speculation and signals the team's intent to strengthen its offensive core ahead of the new season. Jones, known for his explosive speed, agility, and versatility on the field, is widely regarded as one of the most dynamic backs in the league. After spending several seasons with the Packers earlier in his career, Jones's return marks a highly anticipated reunion between the player and the franchise where he initially rose to stardom. His previous tenure in Green Bay was marked by Pro Bowl performances and numerous highlight reel plays that helped define the team's offensive identity. The decision to bring Jones back underscores Green Bay's commitment to adding experience and firepower to its backfield. With a young quarterback at the helm, the presence of a veteran like Jones could be crucial in easing pressure and providing reliable production both on the ground and through the air. Jones's ability to catch passes out of the backfield and his sharp football IQ make him a dual threat that defenses will have to account for every snap. Team executives expressed excitement over the signing, highlighting Jones's leadership qualities and familiarity with the organization's culture. Aaron is more than just a great player. He's a competitor, a professional, and someone who embodies what it means to be a Packer, said a spokesperson for the team. Fans also welcomed the news enthusiastically, with social media erupting in celebration after the official announcement. The move is expected to boost not only performance on the field, but also morale throughout the locker room. With training camp just around the corner, all eyes will be on Jones as he dons the green and gold once again. Expectations are high, and if history is any indication, Jones is more than capable of delivering big moments when it matters most. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Green Bay Packers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We should always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.